Alright, what you see here is a TPI Industrial Ceiling Fan. I got this about 2 years ago now from Sterling Gin in Sterling, Mass. There were 4 Relites along with this and a leading edge Marley Industrial with a proline 2 styled blades. Had the same upper canopy that you see like on the Home Depot leading edge Dayton's and such, not the commercial super light duty economical model. This fan I've been meaning to test for quite some time, along with those Relites, so I figured this would be the next one up. By the time it's published, it might be a bit out of order. I didn't get a different control to test this on because the Casablanca one, I figured I'd use that for fans that are not industrials. So, yeah. This fan came with a longer down rod. I stole one of the down rods from my K2Ks to put on this. Hence why it's a little bit discolored. But it fits the fan fine, so I'm not complaining. It has a bit of rust on it. Same thing with the leading edge Marley fan. Has some rust as well. I'm guessing that this one and the other one might have got a little bit of water damaged. Or they might have had a leak, so they got some water on them. I'm not too sure. Funny thing is, this right next to this place where me and Nathan got, where I got these with Nathan, there was actually a TPI, like, distributor there of some sort. Or like an office building of it, so makes sense why they'd get one of these, but I can see why they didn't get another one to replace one later on, because this thing is very flimsy. I mean, I do like the look of it and everything, but this reminds me of those very cheap looking fans like that are similar to these in the Dominican Republic, or stuff that are very cheap. I mean, blades are very, very thin. Very easy to bend. Motor is just very cheap stamped steel. That can be taken off apart easily. Canopies are metal, but they're very cheap metal that can crack easily, as you can see. Right there. So that way this upper canopy is kind of bent downwards a bit. I mean, not just that they don't move air, they are a decent air mover, but it's definitely not an industrial grade fan in my opinion. I feel like it's more of a commercial grade fan, because it's such a very cheaply made fan and such. It does look a lot like the Can-Arm CP56 fans. I know it isn't a relabel one of those, but it does look a lot like one. One thing is that the blades are different, so that's another thing that makes it kind of obvious that it isn't one. I don't know too much about TPI as a company. I know that I see some of their fans like and such, like floor fans, like floor industrial fans of sorts, or wall fans and such. But ceiling fan wise, they're not really too common and such. I mean, they do sell them, it's just they're not that well known, I guess, but they also aren't really that high quality, so I'm not surprised. But it's a neat fan. This fan is from March of 2008. Let me find the tag. There's the tag for it on top. Let me rearrange it. And there's the date code, March 2003. This fan definitely replaced one of the Relites that must have been there before. As there was only 4 of them when I got them, there must have been 6, but this one replaced one for some reason. I'm guessing maybe either it stopped working, a blade hit it, or something hit it, because the gym it was in, it wasn't like an exercise gym for like with machines. It was more of like a aerobics gym of some sort. Like it had air machines there, bouncing machines for kids. It's one of those type of gyms. I guess the best way you can kind of say it was very similar to like what Sky Zone is. That's the best way to put it. They replaced the fans during the lockdown, or took advantage of the lockdown to do some renovations there, and they took out the fans and put up 2 large, big-ass fans of sorts, something like that. If you look up pictures of the place online on Facebook or other places, you can actually see the old fans that I have from that place back when they were still installed. It's called Sterling Gym in Sterling, Mass. So definitely take a look at it if you're interested. I can only assume that they didn't go for another one of these when they replaced another Relight, I'm assuming, back in like 2012, 2013, when the other one was, when a leading edge fan was put up, because the thing, in all honesty, I feel like this is even more flimsy than the Relites, to be honest, in terms of the build quality. But, yeah, let me go ahead and start off on the low speed. Blades were a little bit out of alignment, so I did my best to straighten them, but since the metal's so cheap on it, I really don't want to bend them too much and mess it up. Stuff I can see like in a convenience store, flea market, school, grocery store. I remember when I first got them, I was planning to keep this and I was planning to get rid of the leading edge fan. But I ended up deciding to keep that one because it was my first leading edge Marley product. So, yeah, that one's definitely in a better shape than this one, even though one of the blades on that one was bent. Looking back at it now, I'm definitely glad I didn't sell it or get rid of it. I've actually never seen that type of variant before where it has like a black line around it. Proline 2 styled blades, like basically the type that the commercial Marley leading edge ones have with those harsh environment looking canopies. But this one has the regular canopies, so I've never seen that before. So, but, I mean, it has a good low speed to it. I do have the original downhard still in its original length that it came with. I just didn't want to cut it for the video since I know I have shorter downwards I can put on it for the video that actually fit it and such. But yeah, I see a lot of fans that look so similar to this when I was a kid, that are really cheap looking industrials. So despite it not being a well-made fan by any means necessary, it definitely is a fan I'm glad to have. Definitely want to get a natural Canon CP56 back when they still had a gold stripe on them. Like I'll get a more recent one before they discontinued them and put a gold stripe on it, but yeah. I feel like I'd rather get one that actually had a stripe on it, the gold stripe on the motor, like this one. So it's not I'm feeling a very slight breeze underneath it. The only other place I've seen these out in person is at that Salvation Army I filmed at a few years ago. So those ones that had a different upper canopy. They had a bell canopy. And something I found interesting with them is that some of them didn't have the same colored sticker as this one. Some of them actually had different colored ones, either a greenish or a brownish or a bluish one, from what I can remember. And those ones had replaced Newtone swim lines, which honestly is definitely an improvement in some ways, despite these fans being not the best performers. They're definitely an upgrade compared to swim lines for a store, in my opinion. Considering that they were actually the 52-inch swim lines, not the 40 or the 36-inch ones. So, all right, let me go ahead and move it up to medium low. But yeah, I can see these in arcades and deli shops, bakeries. Definitely not an auto shop. I mean, I can definitely see it being put there, but I don't see it doing good there at all, especially with the performance of it. Flower shops. It's definitely something I honestly consider this more of a commercial fan. But of course, people are gonna buy it because industrial is more. People think of powerful fans for stores. They look more for industrial fans, not commercial. So a lot of companies, I feel, definitely put the name industrial. That way, people think, oh, it's industrial grade fan, so let me buy it. When in reality, they really aren't. Not a industrial fan, they're more a commercial fan. Which is why we see so many cheap ones out there to this day instead of actual industrial fans like the gold lines or silver lines. Although those are more light duty industrial fans, but even then. A lot of industrial fans that are nowadays are the huge ones. So I'm feeling a decent breeze from over here on this speed. Yeah, honestly, aside from the Relites, it's probably the most flimsiest industrial fan that I have in my collection. And I'm not saying that the performance, I'm just talking about like the build quality of it and such. I mean, the Proline 4, I feel, might be the only other fan that this is more powerful than that I've tested down here. But in terms of like industrial commercial fans, but even the build quality on that fan is better than this. But it's also made by air cooled, so that's another thing. Alright, now I'm gonna move it up to medium high. There we go. There's something I messed up with the connection. I don't know why I did that, but here we go. Here's medium or medium high. Yeah, even on this speed, I'm feeling a breeze, but it's nothing that impressive, especially for the speed that it's going. But that's just from here. And even though it is a curve-weighted industrial, it's not all that impressive, to be honest. I mean, even a Proline 2's outperformed this without a question, even on this speed. But I mean, I got the fans for only $10, so I'm not gonna complain. I mean, all of the fans were $10 when I got them, so it was more so the Relites I grabbed before. I figured I might as well grab this and the leading edge one as well, just for the heck of it. Yeah, this breeze underneath it really, it's not impressive at all. All right, now for the high speed. I mean, not to say that it doesn't move air around, it definitely does, but for a commercial or a fan that's supposedly called an industrial fan, it really does not live up to what it's supposed to be rated for. And it does have a good high speed to it. At least it's not super slow high speed. I am feeling somewhat of a breeze over here. It's nothing amazing, but I am feeling something. One thing I can definitely say, if you're looking to get a TPI Industrial and for the performance, don't. If you're looking to get one for the look, or sort of a curb weighted one like this, it's not horrible, but you can probably find something that looks a lot like this that's better quality, to be honest. I mean, if you find one that's super cheap like I did, like $10, then by all means, but I won't even pay more than 20 bucks or $30 for it, to be honest, just because of how flimsy this thing is. Like, that's the max I'd pay for it. Underneath it, it actually doesn't push that bad of a breeze, to be honest. But for it to really even do anything at all, to be honest, you'd probably have to just run on a high speed just to even have it do any sort of air movement that's refreshing. We just need something to circulate the air, it'll do that, but if you want something to actually cool you down or cool the space down, this will not do it. Unless it's on high, but even then. For like a convenience store or something like that, this honestly wouldn't be bad for that. But for like stores with high ceilings, I would not recommend it. When I mean high ceilings, I mean like Home Depot high ceilings, for example. I mean, I remember when I saw the ones at the Salvation Army, I could barely feel any air from them. So, you see, test one up close, I'm not surprised that it's not that much of a difference. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut off to do spin down. And the fact that the fan runs well still, I mean, I'm surprised that it's not really, doesn't have bad bearings. And I'm just saying, not because I know that these are horrible quality fans, or with bad bearings, it's just that since it's such a cheaply made fan, I wouldn't be surprised that if this was used like extensively throughout all of the years they had it there, it probably would have been in worse shape by now. But it was more likely something that they'd use occasionally, maybe on slower speeds or high speeds occasionally. Definitely not run all the time. I mean, when I got them, they're all relatively clean, and even in the pictures, it was very dirty. I don't think there was a single picture of them where they were dirty. So that tells me that they weren't really used that often. Not an indication that all the Relites, the blades were pretty drooped downwards, like they were kind of sagging a bit, since they weren't used that often. So the gravity was pushing down on them a lot. So That's another indication there. But yeah, I feel like, in all honesty, for commercial use, it honestly isn't bad, but for industrial use, definitely not. That's the only thing I can really say about it. I mean, this was also from back when stuff was really starting to take a decline in quality anyways, especially with fans, so that's another thing. Spin down's not too long, so yeah. But yeah, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.